I decided to teach because I really want to make a difference in children's lives.
I know a lot of adults will say kids never know when they're ready.
Learners don't want our opinion.
I don't think a lot of learners take the subject seriously.
I was taught that sex gives you AIDS.
I knew that sex was a bad thing to do.
We grew up knowing it is taboo to talk about it.
We were a bit shy to hold each other's hand or to kiss each other.
A teacher needs to remember that this child needs support.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. These are just a few of the digital and online platforms which our youth interact with. A lot of their time is spent in a cyber world where there's no physical contact with the people or the characters they engage with. According to a study done by the Center of Justice and Crime Prevention in 2016, 85% of learners used online instant messaging as the most preferred method of communication. Today on Breaking the Silence, we give learners and educators tools for engaging responsibly on social and digital media. Joining us today is Nomveliso Mbanga, a teen coaching expert who is also known as a youth alchemist. She'll be watching the learners' discussion backstage with our panel of educators.
Hi, I'm Johan. I'm a life orientation teacher for grade 11s. I also teach Afrikaans grade 8 and 9.
I am Peli Belelapi Sarah Khove. I teach at Lihlabile High School.
My name is Mohammed Willies. I'm a teacher at Prosperitas Secondary School. Teaching LO is informative. You get to help learners. You get to interact with learners, counsel them in a way as well. And that's where you get to understand what your learners are feeling in a way.
The reason why I like to teach life orientation is because of the reason you can be open to learners and they can come to you with problems and yeah, you can help them.
I actually act as a social worker of the school because whenever they have problems, they would come to me. They understand me, I understand them.
Today, our panel of learners are Bongani, Shani, Anthony, Zanda, Yongama, Itumeleng. Welcome to Breaking the Silence. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it so much. How are you guys feeling?
Good.
You're feeling good. Fantastic. So we're talking social media and all sorts of other things that happen on social media. Cyberbullying, texting, sexting, I think it's called, right?
Yes.
And all bunches of things. Social media, why do we want to be on social media so badly? Why is it so important to us?
It's because we can communicate to a lot of people we don't know, close friends, people we don't see every day.
Yeah.
And also relatives.
And also relatives. And your relationship with social media, do you have social media?
Yes, I do.
What social media do you have?
Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
Why do we post on social media? What are we looking for? What do we want? What's this addiction to social media?
Maybe it's the attention you get from all the likes and the comments and everything you get.
Do you think we've become a society that's living for likes?
Yes.
So if we don't get likes, does it affect you if you post something and you don't get likes?
I think sometimes it does, because then you feel like, that girl gets like 300 likes and I only get 3.
Yeah.
Then she's more prettier than me, I need to do something, lose weight, or I need to wear more makeup or something like that.
How many people do you know that like literally do insane things just for likes?
A lot.
What kind of insane things do they do?
Some people are not ashamed of posting their naked pictures, not even half naked pictures on social media.
Teenagers?
Yes, because...
Really?
If you check, some girls have Kim Kardashian as a role model, and she posts...
Our dear daughters.
So they think that posting naked pictures can make them a better person in life.
Very true. What our role models saying about the children
Our problems
nowadays.
is that they don't take us as their role models. There are people they take as role models, and those people do wrong things.
Have you guys received nudies on your social media?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Really? What did you do with the nudes? Did you show your friends?
No, I don't. Like, if it's between us, it will stay between us. But, like, I didn't ask for it. It just...
Where? Was this on Facebook, on WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
Yeah, in most cases, girls who want attention from boys, they usually do that. They send nude pictures to boys and seeking attention.
Teenagers have access to smartphones, which lead them to have access to the internet and then porn. So often when kids are at school, they want to explore the different things that land into their phones. And that leads to them experimenting with nudes and sending stuff to each other. And the assumption is that it's only girls who do that. But in most cases, also boys send nudes to girls, even sometimes without even asking for permission. The challenging part with teens is that they can send nudes to each other, which then leads to them bullying each other by leaking information to other people within the school. So the challenge is for teens to understand how to manage their digital space in a way that's going to protect themselves within the school environment.
Then I deleted it because like...
And what if you forget to delete and your mom gets a hold of your phone and it's like full of nudes? What would your dad do?
My dad will beat me.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't play?
Doesn't play.
Your parents and your relationship with your phones. Do you have boundaries for your parents where your phones are concerned? Can your parents go through your phones? Do you allow them to?
I don't.
You don't? Why?
My parents trust me, so they don't feel the need to go through my things.
Itumeleng?
Yes.
Yes. Exactly what is in your phone that would drive your mom crazy?
I have many girlfriends.
Wow. Why do you have many girlfriends?
Some are like my friends, you know.
Yeah.
And some are like my girlfriends.
How many are like your girlfriends?
Only 2 for now.
Are you planning on having more?
No, but they are becoming more.
You're not supposed to be having many girlfriends. At that age especially, because then eventually you're gonna want it to take to the next level and it's gonna lead into many different problems for him.
Sexting is a big trend. Do you guys do the sexting thing?
I wouldn't say I do sexting, I just flirt.
Yeah.
You just flirt? What's the difference between flirting and sexting?
Flirting is nice comments.
Yeah.
And then sexting is naughty, nasty
yeah.
comments.
Like what? Construct a sexting sentence for me.
What are you wearing now?
Is that sexting?
It's not sexting, but then it leads to sexting.
It leads to sexting.
I'm actually from an old school era, so sexting is a new concept to me. So flirting for me would be, hi, how are you doing? I like you kind of vibe. Sexting would then be where you ask, what are you doing? What are you wearing? Can I get a picture? I think that's where the line would be drawn.
I met Johnny, so happened that he also lived across the road from me. He was incredibly charming, older, witty. My daughter was 14 when he set out to get her to really like him. It created lots of conflict, and I began to really struggle with discipline. I discovered that he'd been in touch with her on Facebook, sending her inappropriate messages about sex, and about them discussing sex with each other. Little did I know at the time that he had provided her with a cell phone which she hid. She was in touch with him all the time. She was still in a school uniform, searched her pockets, and we found a little cell phone, and on it contained messages telling her exactly what to tell the police. We handed the actual device, the cell phone, in for forensics. She said to me, Mum, I really need an iPad for school. And she made me serious, big promises. I just want to get through school. I'm not going to do anything wrong. I'm going to stay away from him. And I had to get an iPad because schools implemented iPad learning. Very soon after that, I discovered messages between him being in touch with her. He had set up 2 fake profiles and used those to communicate with her, and him requesting that she send photographs of her body to him. She's in love with him. She couldn't live without him because she always found a way. He always found a way. Social media is everywhere, so no matter how hard I tried to keep my daughter safe, I could take away a phone, but she'd go to school and there'd be somebody there with social media, with Skype, with a phone. I think there are no boundaries to social media because you can create an anonymous profile. You can go online and open an account and say you're a different sex, you're older than you are. There's no laws governing it and protecting children.
It's quite frightening how vulnerable social media makes us, isn't it? Yeah, because it doesn't only affect us that are using it, but also our loved ones. How do you think the lady in our insert could have been helped?
I feel like she could have moved away if it was really that bad, because like they always find a way to talk to each other. So like maybe if she has another family member, she could have stayed there for a while to meet someone else. Maybe it would have helped.
I think that taking her phone was not the best thing to do, because she could go to a friend and use his or her phone. I think a mother should have spoken to her and showed the right way and the consequences of being with this man.
Why do we take phones to school? Why can't we leave our phones at home? Is it important for us to take our phones to school?
I don't think it's important.
You don't think it's important?
No. Taking your phone to school may limit your focus in your books, because during the period you may be at the back of the class and then using your cell phone instead of listening in class.
We do not allow them to bring phones to school. Once you find it, you get it, you take it to the office, and they get it at the end of the year when the school closes.
Do you guys have private accounts, or are they open for the public?
Open.
Open?
My Instagram is private, but my
Why is your
Facebook's-
Instagram private?
Because I don't like people gawking at my photos and stuff, so I just keep it private. And then the close friends who I accept is the ones that can see my stuff.
I think they're not aware that these things can be hacked. And once they are hacked, the people who get the information can be after them.
What's the worst thing that you think can happen to you if you were to make your social media platform not so private?
People can see your location, what you like, so it's easy for someone to find you.
Never thought about it that way.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Sexual predators are out there, pedophiles are out there, and the more you basically advertise yourself on media platforms and whatever, the more trouble you're going to get and how more people's going to target you.
Would you agree that social media is faceless?
Yes, because you don't know who's behind that profile. Let's say I'm 64. I can say that I'm 17 years old. I steal pictures from other boys and post it in my wall. And then people think that I'm that person.
I see a nice profile, I send a friend request, she accepts. We chat, ask to meet, and eventually find that I'm chatting to a guy.
Have you, in all honesty, visited any pornography sites out of interest via your phone?
Mine was an accident. Yeah.
One was by accident?
Yes.
I like your honesty. And you?
No.
No?
No.
No?
Nope.
No?
No.
No? No.
Please don't tell me you've never watched pornography in your whole life. You can go on the internet, a pop-up can come, and you can actually, when you try to close it, it goes to the full-blown website. So that's, I think they lied over there.
If you go in Tuberi,
yeah,
it kicks like Tuberi out and goes on a porn site.
And this is supposed to be like a user-friendly
yes.
application.
But now it's not anymore.
So did you delete Tuberi from your phone?
Yes.
See how easily accessible is pornography to a child. He types in a music website and then it kicks him off into a porn website.
Yeah.
It's on the World Wide Web. How do you police the World Wide Web?
Have you guys had an incident at school where a sex tape went viral amongst your schoolmates?
Yes.
And what was, how did that turn out?
It turned out really bad because teachers got involved and those learners were called for a disciplinary hearing and parents were also involved.
What role do our parents play in our social media behavior?
Our parents are not, they don't have social media. So when we are older, we can get involved in our children's social media because we know how it works.
Do we put boundaries when we use social media? Because I know with my social media, I'm like, hey, whatever, let's all go, let's rock and roll. But sometimes people have really mean things to say. I know I've been called, I don't know how ugly, I've been called ugly 1,001 times on social media. Does that count as cyberbullying?
Yes.
Is there a way we can stop cyberbullying?
I don't think there's a way you can stop it. You can just ignore it because like everybody's gonna have their opinion about you. So there's nothing you can do about it.
Do you guys know anyone who's been cyberbullied and that's had a bad impact on their lives?
I think my nephew. Hy kon nie graad 12 klaarmaak nie. Sy matriek ja. En ek dink van daar af sy vriende hom baie geboelie oor foon en omdat hy epileptiese aanval het. Kon hy nie matriek klaarmaak nie.
So he couldn't finish his matric?
Yes.
Because of the cyberbullying?
Yes. And he tried to suicide.
He tried to commit suicide?
Yes.
Say it in Afrikaans.
Selfmoord pleeg.
Yeah.
By drinking all his pills and all that.
Really? That just breaks my heart, man. That just really breaks my heart. He was teased over something he can't change about himself. An illness that he didn't choose for himself.
Yeah.
Cyberbullies or any kind of bullies will target you because you're different.
Ek's Ander Gringling. Ek's 18 jaar oud, verjaar op 4 September. Ek gaan skool by Hoërskool Roerpoort. Die gebied waar ons in bly is baie lekker. I use Facebook and WhatsApp when I have data. Every morning I check when Shani is messaging me or when friends have gone somewhere or want to go somewhere, then I check where we can go or something like that. Die dislikes wat ek like van social media is mense kan baie vinnig in jou Facebook inhack of jou WhatsApp of in jou phone even. In 'n geval het met my gebeur, ek het al bietjie meer as 4 Facebook accounts en het dan al 4 van my Facebook accounts gehack. Ek dink dit is makliker om vir iemand op Facebook iets te post en om te tag. Jy gaan nie sy reaksie sien, jy gaan nie offended voel nie. Ek dink is maar net die reaksie wat 'n mens gaan kry.
How do we speak about such things at school to educate other people that you actually do have the power to make or break someone? It's okay if you don't have an answer. We've got our educators watching in the next room, and when we come back, we're going to call our educators in and we're going to expand the conversation with them. You good with that?
Yes.
Fantastic. We'll be right back. Under the watchful eye of our expert Nomveliso, I'm going to open up the floor for our educators as well as our learners to have a healthy discussion around today's subject, social media, the dangers of it and how it's very distracting and disruptive in our lives. How do we create boundaries that keep our children safe?
The boundaries that we need to create are as parents and teachers playing a role together. We need to monitor our kids' interaction into social media.
How do we monitor that and create that as a boundary without infringing on their boundaries of privacy? Because, I mean, they're young adults, you know, I mean, they've got rights as well to privacy.
Monitor while educating, not sit there now with their phone every time, let me see what you're chatting, let me see what you're typing. No. In an educational manner, where you still be educating them about how should they conduct themselves on social media. Are you guys still okay on the internet? You're not posting revealing stuff about yourself, and you're not putting too much of yourself out there.
You almost need to know how to build your own boundaries as a teenager, as in know when you're angry, how you react to things. What I find with teens is that because they're still growing emotionally, often you don't know how to build, how to check first if this is going to be appropriate for me to post or not. And that's how mostly teens get into trouble. Same way when you know that at home there are problems or challenges at home, you're feeling lonely, you're feeling sad. It's easy for you to be lured into pedophiles because you have this emotional gap that you're going through. And the safest way is to then have someone around you that you trust, that you can talk to.
So what support structures do we have at our schools, ma'am, that when a child has been cyberbullied, because we're not just focusing on graphic images being posted or sexting between boyfriend and girlfriend, but now what about those that get cyberbullied?
I think our problem is that we don't have structures in place. We rush to finish the syllabus and forget that we've got learners who need to be coached.
I think for me what's interesting is that even besides being cyberbullied, I know one of my teens once, he had a smartphone and he was on Facebook. He never actually logged out from his phone. So one of his friends took the phone and was sending people rude stuff. And sometimes we forget that sometimes when you boys play, you play rough. And so you take those games and you make them rough. So he almost had to find a way to change his password again, log out from the phone, and then, you know, apologized to everyone, and it was difficult for people to even believe him because he had sent so many messages. So I think it also goes with knowing how to use your smartphones properly and know how to manage the security checks in them.
Do they understand, and do you talk to them about the sharing of personal information on setting up an account on social media? Because sometimes you're asked very personal questions for security reasons, so they say, but is it really secure?
My personal opinion, nothing is secure on the internet.
Yeah.
Anybody can get access to your accounts, you get hackers. Even if, for instance, if you have an iPhone, everything they say on the cloud, and you get people that can hack into the cloud and they can spread every little thing that's on your phone to the World Wide Web. So my personal opinion, nothing is safe.
Nothing safe on the internet, right? So my dear learners, there are so many dangers on social media, and you go to school every day, you interact with your LO teachers all the time. How would you like them to teach you about these dangers on social media?
I think like if they made an example in class, like if they made an example account in class to show you which information they ask you to put there, I think it would help as well.
Some of the learners think it's a joke. They laugh about it because it's not something the teacher is supposed to talk about the learners. And while I was going through the lesson, I actually asked a few learners, whose phone can I take now and go through your gallery? And nobody raised their hands.
Is that a sign of
that there's something going on?
Where there's smoke, there's fire, there's something going on. Yeah, see, that behavior frightens me. I don't want to lie. Like, if you are so apprehensive at a young age to hand over your phone, to say, yeah, but you can go through my phone, it's okay. But the moment you go, no, and you're like under the age of 18, what are you hiding on your phone?
Exactly.
This is where self-control comes in. As a teenager, you have to know that some things you don't do, some things you can do, some things you use them to do this, and some things you use them to do that. So you have to set boundaries for yourself. Know what's right and what's wrong.
I was very happy when one of the other learners was saying they have to be responsible. Texting is there, cyberbullying is there, whatever is there, but they themselves have to be responsible for their own actions.
And that's very mature and very responsible for you to respond in this manner. Would you agree?
I agree. It also means that the teenagers themselves must understand their value while they are at school. And I know it sounds cliche because you're there to be educated, but the truth is that when you're at school, your academics is your responsibility in terms of how you perform in your academics, what you achieve when you leave high school, and how you take yourself to university or tertiary or any kind of tertiary institution. So if you're going to spend most of your time wasting your hours at school, you are the only one who's responsible for that outcome and nobody else. Often it's easier for teens to blame the teachers, to blame the government, to blame the system, to blame the parents, that, oh, my mom did not buy me a tablet, or I've got a tablet but I've got no data on my tablet. But teens need to remember their own responsibility for their own lives. Same thing with using the smartphone to get the right information out of it, because then what's the point of you having all of these digital appliances and yet you are still failing in school, where you could be using that to kind of
empower yourself. Absolutely. Well, there we go. I think we're leaving with the sense of acknowledging that it is your responsibility as a person, be you educator or learner, to conduct yourself in a principled way when engaging with other people on social media. Mr. Mohammed said, nothing is safe on social media, and the internet forgets nothing. Be careful what you post. At least now we know a little better than we did before we started talking. Thank you.
Yes.
Educators build confidence and self-esteem in learners and stand against cyberbullying. Parents become technologically informed. Learners choose carefully what you post. With our legislation still in progress with protecting our children from the dangers of engaging on social and digital media, there is no harm with giving our learners the tools they need to protect themselves. I hope today's episode helped you at home to navigate safely through the virtual world we often engage in. I'm Dineo Ranaga. Make sure to tune in next week for another edition of Breaking the Silence.